everyone, how you all doing? Hope you're keeping safe out there. Today I'm taking a look at a Transformers figure. It's the Generation Selects Galvatron figure. It's a really nice figure actually. I wasn't sold on the mould originally when I first saw it, but this repaint is quite nostalgic for me, so I decided to pick it up. You can order it online from Hasbro Pulse if they've got it in stock, or I got this one actually from Toys-R-Us. Pretty cool shop in the UK. It was like 60 quid with free shipping, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I really like this figure, it looks really cool. Okay, I do things here, a little bit of backstory. Galvatron as a character was first introduced in the Transformers the movie back in 1986. In the movie, after the sort of early climactic battle with Optimus Prime, Megatron is left floating in space, badly damaged. He comes across Unicron, the monster-eating planet, or the planet-eating monster planet. Yep, that's right. Who, after striking a bargain with him, reformats him into Galvatron and provides him new troops, a new ship, and a new purpose, basically to hunt down the MacGuffin of the movie, the Matrix, and destroy it. The movie, like most people know, have seen it by now. I mean, the film's older than I am. But Galvatron sort of survived the movie and became the leader of the Decepticons in the third series of the show. And yeah, it was pretty cool. It was iconic. It was still voiced by Frank Welker, which I didn't know as a child. I thought it was two different voice actors, but no, it was the same guy. Really impressive. But yeah, it was really, really nice. There's one slight problem though, is this figure isn't based on that Galvatron. See, that Galvatron was primarily purple. Now, if you want that Galvatron, you can actually get it. You can get the Kingdom Leader class Galvatron, which is what this figure is based on. I actually didn't get the Kingdom version because it had that. Well, there's two reasons actually. One, it's got like the paint damage from Siege on it for some stupid reason, so it just looks dirty and banged up. And they were all sent out misassembled. Even like in this stock photo here, you can see the problem is the shoulders, the internal part of the shoulder joint has been assembled back to front, so it doesn't actually work properly. And you can fix it, but more likely to damage your figure. Now, if you do want to if you do actually like this purple original version of Galvatron, or this purple cartoon and movie version, should I say, there is an updated version coming out in Legacy, which apparently has been fixed, the shoulder issues, should I say, and is free of those paint details and damage and dirt. And I probably will actually pick that version up. Oh. Actually, no. I don't think I will pick that version up because I kind of like this one I've got now even more than getting the cartoon version. And I'll tell you why. This version that I've bought is based on the original toy. And I had the original Galvatron toy as a kid. It's one of the few big Transformer toys I had. And it was based on the early Floro Deary designs, which are grey with a different sort of like profile and physique of the character. But that early design was really cool, and it's the one you had as a child if you had the toy. And it was the design that also made it into the Transformers comics back in the day. And Galvatron in the comics was also slightly different because they did a comic book version of the movie, but in the main comic book continuity, get ready for some weird stuff here, folks. It's all timey-wimey, bibbly-wobbly. A version of Galvatron from the main timeline, after everything with Unicron, decided to travel back in time with Scourge and Cyclonus to try and prepare the Transformers for when Unicron does arrive, to blow him out of space. That was his plan. And yeah, it was an interesting one. And it was actually quite cool seeing him come back in time because he's from, say, there's 25 years in the future, I think, kind of. So he's a lot more advanced than the Transformers of the day. So he was just this beast of a Transformer that could just walk through Autobots. And while in the movies and the cartoon his main rival was Rodimus Prime, in the comic books he found more of a rivalry with Ultra Magnus, which, funnily enough, is how they originally pitched in toy commercials and stuff like that. They're both described as the city commanders when they were first put on toy shelves, as not to spoil what happened to people in the movie. So in the comic books they pit them against each other quite often, with Ultra Magnus being a very powerful Autobot, being cutting edge back then, almost being a match for him, though he would eventually, of course, end up losing to him, and it was a shame. But as I say, it was all wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. And it all came to a head when, I think what happened was Cyclonus ended up getting killed. And the fact he died early in the timeline than he's actually supposed to start existing caused a big time storm, which literally ripped Galvatron apart and just scattered him across time and space. And that was the end of Galvatron in the original comic books. Except a few years later, when Unicron actually did arrive, he actually decided to, rather than change Megatron into Galvatron, reached out to a different timeline to pick a different version of Galvatron to enter the main timeline. The idea being that even if this one, no matter what this one does, it can never affect time because it is from a different timeline. Not a bad idea. The only problem being, even after Unicron was destroyed, Galvatron remained, and he was absolutely nuts. He had a he was an unhinged psychopathic destroyer of a Decepticon. And it was kind of fun to read. It was actually my favourite version of Galvatron because he just didn't care. He just wanted to wreck shite and get stuff done. Now, eventually the series would end with him having a battle and crashing the Ark into the Antarctic, where he was presumed destroyed. However, in Regeneration 1, the modern day continuation of the original series, after the death of Megatron in that timeline, or in the main timeline, he awoke out of the frozen tundra of the ice and started crap again. Though luckily he was eventually caught by Ultra Magnus and thoroughly defeated by him, thrown into Cybertronian jail. But unfortunately he was then, I think, collected by a cult of Unicron worshippers who are now worshipping the dark essence of the Matrix, which was existing on Cybertron. He was possessed by it, and he was eventually just permanently destroyed by Ultra Magnus in a really cool and brutal comic book scene, which is just really great. But yeah, that's the version that this Galvatron is based on, and it looks really good. There's a few little details which aren't quite right, like the head crest shouldn't be purple, it should be grey, or the same grey as the body. She's a bit weird, but I think it's probably, I can guarantee in here if there's going to be a third party kit to replace that. But apart from that, the figure looks really, really great. I really like it. It's hitting that nostalgic twinge in my heart of the toy I had as a kid. It's pretty well articulated as well. It's got really all the articulation you could want. Universal shoulders, bicep swivels, double jointed elbows, wrist swivels, waist joint, universal hips, knee joint, that like the rocker, hinge, pivoty, ankle dooley-dad that was introduced in Siege and has been used in everything else since. Really nice. The detail of that arm cannon looks great. It's just it's that lovely, I think it's the same orange plastic as the original toy, which I really like. And the figure comes with a fair bit of stuff as well. Like if you want, it comes with a version of the Matrix and a chain like you had in the movie. Though, yet again, as a comic book nod, this Matrix is painted metallic green, which is how the Matrix appeared in the comic books. That's nice. He also comes with a pair of Handheld Blasters, which are actually based on the Revenge, which was the ship Unicron gave him in the movie. And these two Handheld Blasters are just silly. I think they're kind of a way of sneaking in the Revenge in as a as an in-scale ship. If you bought the Generation Selects, the HasLab Unicron, they kind of work like that. I mean, you can stick them on his back if you want, or in a bits box like I'm going to do, or if you want, you can stick the two of them together to make one really weird-looking gun. That's odd. But yeah, he comes with a lot of great stuff. He also comes with a sticker sheet, where if you want to stick him up a lot more like the original toy was. I haven't done that, but I'll just throw up a few photos of what it looks like if you do put the stickers on. Some of them are really cool. I'm tempted by one or two. I might apply a few just to add that more, as I say, the nostalgic feel of the original toy. But no, apart from that, I generally think he's a really great toy. He's a great Transformer. Okay, so I'm just going to compare him now to some other Transformers in my collection. Here he is with the Supreme Class Rodimus Prime and the Leader Class Optimus Prime. He's suitably bigger than the two of them, which is really nice, because they're both figures that are considered small for their price point, and I'd say he's quite big for his, so yeah, but comparing him to Rodimus, the two look good together, and he looks really good with Optimus. Here he is with some more Season 3 characters, the Earthrise RC and Studio Series Cup, The RC is blowing out the white balance on my photo a bit. Ooh. As you can see, he's a large figure compared to his looks, but again, looks really good with them. Here he is with Ultra Magnus, and they look great together. I mean, this is probably how I'll have the two of them displayed, probably fighting each other on a shelf. Because Ultra Magnus is beefy enough to be a physical threat to Galvatron. You can kind of see from their design aesthetics, Ultra Magnus is still quite blocky and mechanical looking, while Galvatron is sleeker, shall we say, more spheres, more rounded edges, but they still both look powerful. And of course I've got to throw him up with some of his Decepticons. He is with his two lieutenants, and the two that came back with him in time in the comic books, Scourge and Cyclonus. They look great together. Cyclonus looks just the right height, just to be slightly smaller than Galvatron when you extend his knees out, the way I like to display him. And Scourge looks suitably smaller. Yeah, I know some of you are probably thinking I'm calling him Scourge when that's actually the sweep, the Studio Series sweep. I got the Studio Series sweep because basically all it is that Studio Series Scourge figure with the hands swapped over and done in the original toy colour scheme, which is really nice because that's also the colour scheme that was in the comic books. And what's even better is I've got that Cyclonus. They're also releasing apparently a Generation Selects version of Cyclonus in the comic in the original G1 toy colours, which are of course the original comic book colours. So having all three of them together will look great. Yeah. Oh, and I almost forgot his vehicle mode, his cannon mode. It's an okay mode. The transformation's not too bad actually. It's just, he's a cannon at the end of the day. It's impressive. It looks like the original toy did. You can put blast effects in the end if you want. You can attach all the things onto him. There's a special plug to plug the chain around his barrel so it doesn't fall off. You can stick those other guns around the back. It's just Galvatron's cannon mode has always been an okay mode, but you never really displayed Galvatron like this, did you? He was always in robot mode. Yeah, and here he is with the only other transformer I really wanted to transform to vehicle mode because it's getting late. I didn't want to transform everything, but here he is with Ultra Magnus in his he's supposed to be a car transporter. Yeah, his car transporter mode. The two look really great together. These are both the same price point, but you can see the difference. In Ultra Magnus has a lot of his mass extended outwards to make the trailer cab, while Galvatron condenses down quite a bit. They're both about the same weight actually if you pick them up, but they both look really cool together. I like that. Well, that was the review, folks. My final thoughts. Really recommend this figure. If you like the original toy colour scheme of Galvatron or the comic book version of him, I'd recommend getting this. But if you're just someone who just likes the cartoon or the movie, I'd say wait for that Legacy version, which is just the Kingdom version without all the knackered in shoulders and all the rubbish paint taken away. I'd recommend waiting for that one because it's going to be out in a few months. But if you do want that original toy look and that comic book look, go for this version. You won't be disappointed. Well, that's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please leave a like. If you've got any ideas or comments, please leave them below. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe for more mediocre content at best. And until next time, folks, I want you all to stay safe, stay sane, and keep on rolling. And I'll see you all next time. Ta-da!